Hello, Soul Fam. I just was sitting here with little Hazel and wanted to pop in here with a message. It's super timely for those that are tuning in right now, right after the new moon in May 2026. So, this message is for a very small percentage of the collective. There's so much coming through. There's like 7 different messages here. I was journaling it out right before I hit record, so I might reference this, but I'm just gonna go with what's coming through right now. You have been at a threshold. You have been at a threshold. I spoke to this at a previous in a previous message, and you are now crossing. You are crossing, and it's because you have walked in faith when it defied logic, when there was no evidence that anything that you were doing was working. You continued to show up. You refuse to give in. And I'm referring to your soul's calling. I'm referring to what your heart knows is true for you. You've, in the face of a lack of evidence in the 3D world, you have continued to step into the unknown. You have continued to surrender and let go. You have continued to let God lead your life. And it's not even your life, right? You are all of this. You are life, and you are surrendering to the flow of life, which is literally the same infinite intelligence that is beating your heart right now and looking through your eyes, and you're finally surrendering to it. But there's another piece of this. You have been coming into inner union on a deeper and deeper level. And it's kind of paradoxical to say that, because there is no deeper level of union. Union is, you are divine union already, but there's a deepening of embodiment of it, like your actions, words, and deeds are all in alignment in order to self-actualize and express the divinity of that which you are. Okay? So there's a clicking into alignment, and you've been at this threshold. You've been like, you see through the illusion, and you've been taking inspired action steps, and you've been walking with faith in the unseen. And there's a deep calling in your heart to be of service at a high level in this incarnation. You wouldn't land on this video and still be listening to me if that were not true, because the frequency of this message is for the sacred leaders of New Earth. You are here to be an embodied transmission of divine love and truth. You are here to be divinity in form and be a walking, talking transmission. And it has taken a level of purification to get to where you are deeply embodied now at this threshold. And everything that's been coming up specifically in the last roughly 3 weeks, especially since the full moon on May 1st, which has illuminated the survival identity, where you're still clinging to fear-based programming and conditioning, doubt, lack, scarcity. This is your time now. You are on the threshold, and this coming energy for the rest of May, like I said, this is a very timely message, but this is also very timeless, just like all the messages that I put out. They're very relevant for the collective that finds this at the time that it's being recorded, and it's also very relevant for the collective that finds this in future now moments, aka what appears to be years from now, if it resonates, because there's different waves that are tipping into their new earth timeline. But you are here to live your heaven on earth, and it is going to come through your creative expression You are here to create. You are here to fully trust and surrender to the divine will and the divine orchestration of your life, which you have been doing, and you are here to create. And your creation is the offering of that the divine is wanting to express through you. Okay, I'm going to reference my journal because there were some things that I brought through today, throughout the course of the day, that have really, I know they're for the collective. So today's been a really potent day. I'm just going to summarize it. Everything leading up to this, like the transmission the other day, if you tuned into that, I don't know if you did or not. I think it was the last transmission regarding 321 blessings, I think is the title. This is a time of rejoicing. There's a celebration already happening in the 5D. There's a celebration and a congratulations and a hallelujah and a rejoicing energy for what you are opening to. It's time to receive, and you are now entering your receiving era. This is a time to receive, and you've been conditioned for so long to be in lack or scarcity due to the ancestral trauma and the karmic imprints and the conditioning that you came here to break, right? You are a cycle breaker. You have been conditioned in that for so long that you probably never even thought you were going to enter an era of such ease and flow and feminine receptivity. But this is your era of feminine receptivity. You are stepping into this right now, and the frequency of the rest of May is going to lock this in. You are crossing the threshold now, like literally crossing the threshold. This is the crossing this coming week. At the time of this recording, if this is finding you around May 17th when this is being recorded, this coming week, May 18th and beyond, as we move into the end of the month, is the crossing, which means the old identity, the old survival identity rooted in fear-based consciousness cannot come with you. And that's the reason it's been coming up the last few weeks since the Scorpio full moon, which just illuminates the shadow, right? And the inner alchemy that needed to take place, the final shining on the survival identity that has still been gripping you, right? Your awareness, your conscious presence, which is you. It has been a gravitational pull, right, to the old identity. And the reason you may have felt it amplified, the doubt amplified, the fear amplified, that is by divine design, because it needed to be illuminated with the light of your consciousness, with the light of your presence, right? The presence of that which you are, because the light of your presence and your conscious awareness is the most powerful force. It is literally consciousness focused, right? Like a laser beam, and it illuminates the shadow and alchemizes it effortlessly. So it needed to come up, it needed to be alchemized, it needed to be seen through. You've been seeing through the illusion. That's why the dragon energy and the dragonfly energy has been coming through all the last week. It's because you've been seeing through the illusion, burning and purifying that last little bit of illusion, which was necessary. I'm sorry, I'm getting so amplified. I'm so like dramatic right now, but it just feels like a very dramatic climax. Like you've been at the precipice of this threshold, and you are now crossing it. And I'm being so animated about this because there's just so much passion coming through, which is this fiery, passionate like energy, what also simultaneously surrendering and receptive in your feminine essence. It's literally just like I say in Love and Fire, it's all of it unified. It's the light and the dark. It's the love and the fire. It's the light feminine and the dark feminine. It's the sacred feminine and the inner sacred masculine. It's the union within. It's the divine inner essence and the external world of form, which is one, right? It's the inner union, as within, so without, as above, so below, like all of it. Like, this is it. This is it. You are crossing the threshold this week, like now, like right now, at the time that you're listening to this. It is done. It is finished. It's congratulations, celebratory energy. Hallelujah. Time to rejoice. That is what's coming through. Blessed and blessings have been coming through very, very strongly. You are about to walk into the most blessed timeline you have ever experienced in lifetimes. In lifetimes. In lifetimes. Like, you have literally been preparing incarnation after incarnation. And yes, these are all parallel lifetimes. They're not like past and future, but nonetheless, they are culminating in this present time space reality, which is where you're focused at right now, or you wouldn't be watching this. And all of it is culminating right now. This is the incarnation that breaks all of the other cycles. And yeah, blessings through your creative expression. And literally, this is for the sacred leaders and visionaries that have been walking this path of purification and deepening in their embodiment and calibrating their nervous system to anchor and hold this 3D, these blessings and this prosperity and this new level of, impact and visibility and responsibility and wealth and clients and capacity to hold space and frequency. Like, you've been anchoring it in the body. You've been anchoring it in the body. This is the beginning of the rest of this life. Like, this is the before 2000 May 2026, after May 2026. Your life is never going to be the same. Your life is taking on a whole new trajectory, one that you've always deeply known in your heart you were meant for, but also simultaneously always felt so out of reach because of all of the purification and all of the front-loaded karma and everything that you've gone through in this lifetime. And so that's what I'm going to say there. The other thing that's been coming through is, yes, again, blessings and miracles, the energy of miracles. There is a divine blessing, or divine blessings rather. Hazel, you want down? Do you want down? Come over here. Come over here. Okay. So there is miracles and divine blessings that are going to come through. You are the portal for this. God is using you. Okay, come on down. Let me let her down. Okay, get your booty off. Get your booty down. Get down. Okay. You have been hollowed out enough for God to use you. You've been purified enough for God, the divine, to use you at the highest level, which is what your soul came here to do. You came here to be a living, walking, talking transmission of the divine feminine in form. And God can now use you because of your sacred devotion and the purification that has ensued and everything that has been alchemized. And you are here now standing as a divine channel and vessel, vehicle, conduit for the divine to work through you. You have been purified. Your will is in alignment with divine will. You have surrendered. You are letting go and letting God. You are living in the flow, and God can now use you. God can now bless you because you are here to be a blessing for others. You are here to be a conduit for miracles. You are here to be a conduit of blessings, because they are now meant to pour through you out into your creative expressions and out through your generosity. And yes, you also simultaneously receive through that, and you are now completing this cycle of giving and receiving and being the channel of the divine blessings and miracles, and as you are blessed, you are blessing others through your authentic expression, through your creative expression, through your sovereign expression. That is your highest contribution to humanity, and you can hold it now as the container for that, because you've been emptied out enough. You have been stripped of all of the illusion and the attachments and the old earth matrix identity, where God can now use you as a purified channel. Okay, so miracles, blessings. There was something else coming through. Yeah, the threshold, you're crossing it now. This is the crossing. You're coming up to the crossing, and it is time to receive. It is time to receive. Your divine calling now requires it, because you are here to be the living, walking, talking Empress in form. You are here to be the sacred feminine in form. There is no scarcity, lack, survival, identity left. You cannot bring that forward with you into the highest timeline, which is happening now. That's why you've gone through everything you've went through the last few weeks. That's why everything that came back a little bit that you thought you already cleared came up to be, alchemized again, because this is the last remnants, as you literally are crossing a threshold that you will never, like, this is the this is what's coming through right now. This is the threshold that you will never go back. You will never go beyond this anymore. Like, you will never go back. Like, it may have felt like you were slingshotted in the past, like you would go back and then you'd come forward and then you come back and go forward and you keep circling around. This isn't to say that you're not going to have, as you continue to up level, the pains of expansion. The pains of expansion are, you're always going to be moving into more expansion, which means outgrowing the identity of that which, you know what I mean, like getting out of your comfort zone. But this is totally different now that you're in this new earth frequency and you are fully trusting and surrendering as a divine channel. You don't latch on and attach on the way that you used to when you were still living from your old matrix identity. So the expansion moving forward is not going to take you into such a constricted place, right? You are not going to go through the metamorphosis of the caterpillar to the butterfly again, right? Like, this is a very sacred threshold that you're crossing. The levels of expansion moving forward from this threshold on, as you cross over this threshold, is going to be like, it gets, the better it gets, the better it gets kind of energy is what's coming through. Like, the better it gets, the better it gets. And your frequency is no longer a resonant match as you finally cross over this threshold, to even pick up the signal of the doubt and the fear. Like, there's such a split happening right now in the collective, and you have broken through the atmosphere of the old identity, which is the other metaphor I like to use. So in the previous videos, it's like a rocket ship metaphor, breaking through Earth's atmosphere to get to outer space, aka your new Earth identity, your new Earth timeline. Your divine identity is your new Earth identity, which isn't an identity at all. It's a releasing of all the identities and living in divine identity coherence is what I like to call it. But nonetheless, you are not going back to having to ever, life will never be the same again. Like, it's going to be a complete 180. Everything is in reverse to what you've always lived before. So all of the cycles are being broken, and yes, there will be expansion. There will be new levels of higher embodiment of fun and joy and creative flow and expression. And yes, there's always, just like nature expands and retracts, like there's going to be this natural ebbing and flowing that happens, because that's just the cycles of nature, right? There's going to be death and rebirth and things like that, and like the old falling away and cycles and stuff like that. But it's not to what you've been used to. You're no longer a resonant match for the survival identity. You're saying bye-bye to the survival identity completely, and your expansion moving forward will have contraction, because contraction is part of it, right? Just like the seasons, there's the leaves that die that during the fall, and then the winter months, and then and then the spring comes and there's new things blossoming, and then, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that is part of nature. So you're going to have that, but it's not going to be the cycles of suffering, the cycles of lack and scarcity and unworthiness, and like the deep fear-based programming, your frequency is no longer going to be a resonant match for that. It's not even going to, like, your signal is not even going to be able to pick up the signal of like doubt and fear like that anymore. You're still going to have life. Life's going to life. You're still going to have, you know, you're still going to experience life just like you do as a free and sovereign soul. That you experience life full on, because you're no longer hiding from anything. You're no longer numbing out. You're no longer running from anything. You're no longer, you know, chasing and seeking out of fear, and you're no longer trying to push or run away from things out of fear, right? You're here present with life, so you get to experience life to the fullest, and all of it, the magic of life. So it's deeply, fully experiencing life because you're here living it in the now, and it's going to have the normal life expression, right? There's going to be things that occur, right, within this thing called life experience. But you are no longer in the storm. You are the calm of the storm, and there's no longer this survival identity. It's not even going to resonate with you anymore. You're moving into a prosperous era of receiving. This is your wealth, sacred wealth era. This is your timeline of fully being fully sovereign, fully expressed, fully wild, bold, authentic, free, fully you, fully turned on, fully in your creative power. You're, as the divine creatrix is the word I like to say. If you've landed here, you are a sacred feminine leader. You may or may not, like, if you're landed here and you're not really resonating with what I'm saying, but it's speaking to you on a deeper soul level, you are on the sacred feminine journey. And it's a journey home to where you've never left. It's a journey home to remembering the truth of who and what you are. It's a journey of seeing through the illusion. And yes, it appears as a journey until it's not anymore. And then you just are. Then you just live it. Then you just be it. It's not a journey anymore. It's just what is. It's just what is, fully expressed through you, and it can't be named, and it can't be boxed, and it can't be caged, and it can't be limited, and it can't be tamed. It's just this wild expression, and authentic expression with no boundaries. I'm not saying that you don't have healthy boundaries, but no like boundaries, as if it's just expansiveness living through you. Right? It's going to feel like a journey of purification and alchemy until this point. And then it's just full on expression and embodiment of your divinity. And that's what you're here to experience. You're here to experience divinity while in form. God is experiencing divinity through the form you call you. God is experiencing itself through the vessel that you call you, which is not really you. You are what is expressing. You are the dance. You are the expression. Here and now, you are the expression. And there's no way to box that. There's no way to name that. There's no way to tame that. You are untamable. You are unleashed. You are expansive. You are limitless. You are wild. You are free. Like, you're all of it. You're all of it. You cannot be restricted and contained. If there's no name for this anymore. There's no name for that of which that you truly are. And simultaneously, there's this human expression that you get to play at the highest level now. And that may or may not make sense to the mind, everything that I just shared here at the tail end. But if you are playing this game at the highest level, everything that I just shared resonated. So if that resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Let me know, yes, it resonated. I know you're part of this collective and you're at the leading edge of this wave of new earth humans. If what I shared with you was like, what is she talking about? You know, and you're trying to make sense of it at the mind level, then just know it will all click when it's supposed to click. And until then, you're here for a reason, or you wouldn't still be listening to this, right? You are here to live your full on sacred expression. And this is happening now. You're crossing the threshold into the promised land. and you are here to live your heaven on earth. And I know right now, if you look out on the global stage of awakening, there's a lot of shit hitting the fan. There's a lot of things hitting the fan, a lot of people stressed out, a lot of truth being revealed, a lot of darkness rising and things like that. And just like you went through your own dark night of the soul and had all of the shit hit the fan and all of the darkness rise within you, now the world stage, the global awakening is happening. And this is happening for each and every soul here on planet Earth, whether they're consciously awakening or not. No one is not being affected by this. But what you see rising is the last hurrah of the old earth identity, the matrix way of living and expressing through power, greed, control, fear-based programming and conditioning and all of that. And so while it looks like, depending on the perspective of the conscious perceiver and observer, that it could be a lot of shit hitting the fan, which there's a newer split happening. There's also a lot of light being expressed, and it's actually the reason that the shadow is even being illuminated to begin with. So what's happening on a global stage is happening on a global stage. It's not by accident, and you are not listening to this by accident. You are listening to this right now because you've already gone through your purification. You have walked through the fire and the flames. You are here to lead new earth. You're here to be anchored in your divinity. You're here to be a living, walking, talking, breathing example of what is possible when you choose truth over and love over fear. And the rest of the collective, the rest of everybody else will catch up. Like, there's no needing to figure that part out. Your highest contribution to humanity now is to be the light, the embodiment, and the fire, right? The sacred feminine is both the light and the dark, right? And dark doesn't mean bad. Dark means dark has been the part of you that has been suppressed for millennia and tried to be hidden, buried, controlled, and tamed. The shadow of the feminine that was always shamed and suppressed. You are here to embody the light and the dark. That means fully embodied in your light frequency in your heart, the unconditional love of that which you are, and fully embodied in your power, your sacred feminine power, which is the unapologetic, bold leader that you are. Both. So anyways, I don't need to journal anymore, but this is what wanted to come through. And let's see, I'm gonna take a sip of this. I'm just getting really amped up about this message. I'm so grateful for everyone that tunes into these messages. This is a very special collective. These messages are not for everyone. It's for a very special wave of the collective, the sacred feminine leaders of New Earth that are here to be fully embodied in their divine feminine essence. And that is not gender specific. So you could be a gender, male, female, that's not gender specific. I know I have a lot of, everybody tunes into these messages. And so if it resonates, it's for you. And I'm super grateful to be able to bring these messages through and connect with you all over the world, wherever you happen to be. You called this in. We are co-creating this experience, and it's a beautiful rise right now that's happening in the collective. And there is no better time to be alive on planet Earth than right here, right now, anchored in this embodied incarnation that you chose. You chose to be here right now. The divine came to express through the physical form of that which you call you, right? But I know you don't call you. You know that you are not just this physical being, but they are one. You are divine. The body is divine. There is no separation. It's all one. And your body is the sacred temple and the infrastructure, the energetic infrastructure that's meant to hold all of the magic, all of the miracles, all of the blessings and the frequency that wants to be transmitted through this vessel. So This whole thing is one big paradox. It's not supposed to make sense. You're not supposed to figure it out. There's plenty of time to know what's going on when you cross over and you're not incarnated in this body anymore, and the body drops, and then you continue to live on as the eternal timeless presence that you are. So right now, let's just play the game at the highest level and have some fucking fun with this. How about that? Does that sound good? If that sounds good, then go ahead and drop. Let's have some fun. I know you made it all the way to the end, and that means you are 100% part of this collective. You can claim this message in the comments. Let me know if it resonated, and let's have some fun. 2026, the rest of 2026, you can feel it. That's all. Like, you can just feel it, right? Can you feel this? Can you feel this momentum? Do you know this to be true for you? Claim this now. You have this power to proclaim what you know to be true. You're not here to be a passive observer of this. You're here to fully engage in this experience. And I know who I'm speaking to. I'm speaking to the sacred feminine new earth leaders that are here to build empires, create legacy, embody sacred wealth, live your highest fully creative expression, your authenticity, your boldness. You want to feel alive. You don't fit into the mold. You never did, and you're not supposed to now. That's not what your soul is calling you to create in this lifetime. And remember, creative came up quite a bit right before I hit record. Your authentic expression, the divine compensation, the blessings, all of that. You don't have to figure out what to create. Most of you have already created for years or decades. You know, there's plenty of ways for you to be compensated, but you are also being called, and you need to follow whatever divine action steps your heart is calling you to. You don't have to figure that out. You don't lead with the mind, you let the heart lead, and then the masculine energy and the magician archetype comes in and activates it. Right? I'm going to talk more about some of the archetypes because I really love playing with the collective archetypal energies that help you shift into power. And that's a whole nother topic, so I'm not going to dive into that right now, but I'm specifically going to be dropping a lot of episodes for those that are being called into sacred leadership, sacred visibility, spiritual entrepreneurship. You're here to monetize your divine genius and gifts. You're here to be wealthy. You're here to be resourced. You're here to be well known. You know you're here to be visible. You know you are a leader. You are a natural born leader. And you know that you're here to make a big impact in the world, like legacy level impact. That is who I'm here to serve at the highest level. And I'm going to be dropping a lot of transmissions around that. So if that resonates with you, let me know. Drop Sacred Leader in the comments. And I know you're part of that collective that really is here to make an impact through your divine genius and your gifts and your magic. And you're here to rise in your power and share your gifts with the world. So, okay, I think I'm going to end it here right now. I feel like that's a good place to wrap up. So, I didn't introduce myself, but I'm sure if you made it all the way to the end and this is the first time you're tuning in, my name is Sarah Rose. Welcome to Divine Femme TV. If you got value from this, follow along, hit subscribe, and you can check out the link wherever you're listening to this if you want to dive deeper. There's many different containers that I have. There's links you can find if you're listening to this on the podcast as well. And check them out. There's group, there's high proximity one-on-one, and there's also in-person sacred feminine nature immersions. It just depends on where you're at and what level of proximity you want and you're feeling called to. So check that out. Instagram at Spiritual CEO is where you DM me if you have any questions. And until next time, I hope this finds you well. Namaste.